Our CRMA report also helps you to determine spinal impairments, both the 5th and 6th edition. Take a look.
Okay, we're just pulling up an example report here. And remember, everything that you've seen now, basically as soon as you see the cervical motion study, you're going to go, okay, is there anything above 1.7 on the atlas? No. So it's not significant. There is some atlas instability, but it's very, very minimal. Remember, we're looking for 1.7 millimeters or more is what we're looking for there. Now, the angular motion segment integrity is ratable at C4. What does that mean? That means we have a grade 3 sprain finding. It means that we have a grade 4 Croft treatment guideline. It means that if we take a look and we start to look at these abnormals, because we have ratable at 2 levels. We have C4 angular finding and C3-4 translation finding. And then if we look down in here, we also have some abnormals at C2 and C3, C4, C5, and C5, C6 as far as translation itself goes. So right here we have the grade 3 sprain findings. Right there we have the grade 4 Croft treatment guidelines. This kicks in athletic return to play parameter information. This also kicks in surgical guidelines, as you're seeing. So now what we're talking about, or as you will see in these videos. So right now what we're talking about is AMA 5th edition and 6th edition. So if we're looking for impairments, one of the beautiful things about, and just so you know, under all of our reports, so let's just go back here, let's just go to like cervical here. You have references that say exactly what this suggests and then where they say that. So there was references at the back of this report that give the data. So anywhere you look where you see these little references right there, those are at the back of the report. Now let's scroll down though. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to see in here, we're going to see right here, 5th edition translation. Now 5th edition translation is back and forth motion. Now you're going to need the 5th edition translation back and forth motion in order to grade the severity of the sprain, right? Because it's back and forth motion. You're going to need it to for placement into the Croft treatment guidelines for the translation findings. You're going to need it for return to play parameters for contact sports. These are rationales for why we put it in the report. Now we also put the 6th edition in case you want to have the 6th edition. Now the 6th edition is a one-way. Again, this is not a educational process to train you about impairment rating. But under the AMA guides, it's a one-way direction. So you literally could have a spondylolisthesis or you could have a very, very stable antro or retrolisthesis that is now ratable. It doesn't mean it has motion in it. Doesn't mean that it actually has motion in it for translation findings. So there was a change from the 5th to the 6th. So we put both in the report. Now, if you want 5th edition, you want to rate based on 5th edition, you can. If you want to rate based on 6th edition, you can. Now, I highly recommend at the end of these videos, there's a resource for you for additional information and education, not through Spinal Kinetics. Spinal Kinetics is a diagnostic company, and our job is to put out reports and put out diagnostic testing, not to necessarily train the doctors on every aspect of impairment rating. There's other resources for that. But the beautiful thing about this is that we include both the 5th and the 6th in the same report.